Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to unlock the secret code behind football tactics. We're going way, way beyond simple formations to understand how teams really tick.
Okay, let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of it all. When the game plan is out the window, the pressure's on, what's left? What does your team fall back on? That gap between the whiteboard and the reality on the pitch? That's what we're talking about today. And our guide on this journey is a pretty revolutionary new framework. It's called the Tactical Identity Compass. Now, this isn't just based on someone's opinion. It's built from a super deep analysis of over 800 matches from all across Europe's top 5 leagues. And what this thing reveals is absolutely crucial. See, this isn't just about sticking a label on a team. Understanding a team's true identity is the key to unlocking everything else. How they train, how they communicate, and most importantly, how they adapt when things go wrong. So how does this all work? Well, it's actually brilliantly simple in its design. Everything starts by plotting a team's real, on-the-field behavior on 2 core fundamental axes. So let's actually build this compass together, shall we? First up, we've got the horizontal axis. This one asks a really simple but profound question. Where does a team's organization come from when they're playing? Okay, so on one side, to the east, you've got positionist teams. For them, organization comes from space. Think about Barcelona. Players have to occupy specific zones, almost like pieces on a chessboard. But on the other side, the west, you've got relationist teams. For them, it's all about relationships. Like at knots, where players organize and move fluidly based on where the ball is and where their teammates are. Now for the vertical axis. This one asks, so who's in charge out there? Up north, you've got structured teams. The coach is the architect, the grand designer. Instructions flow from the top down. But head south, and you find collective teams. Here, the intelligence is distributed. It's a system where the players themselves self-organize on the pitch based on shared ideas.
And here is where it gets really, really cool. Because when you put these 2 axes together, you don't just get 4 boring quadrants. Oh no. You get 8 totally distinct, fascinating tactical identities. Let's start on the east side of the compass, in the world of positional play.
So up in the northeast, where the coach's structure meets that strict spatial organization, you find the architect system. This is Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, right? The coach designs this incredibly precise system of zones and rotations, and the players just execute it. The system is king. Staying in that highly structured, positional world, but with a slightly different flavor, we find the commander's press. Think of Bayern Munich under Hansi Flick. The positional structure is still there. It's still rigid and coach-led, but its main job is to fuel this ferocious, organized press.
All right, let's drop down to the south, where the players start to take over. Here we find the geometric collective. This is classic Barcelona. The positional geometry, the zones, that's non-negotiable. It's baked into the club's DNA. But on the field, it's the players who make the decisions together within that structure.
And rounding out our tour of the east side is the organized swarm. This is Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid to a T. The team presses as one unit, a collective led by the players, but they do it inside these very strict defensive zones, moving together like one big, impenetrable block. Now, let's cross over to the west, into the world of relationist football. Down in the southwest is the peer-to-peer network. And the perfect example? Remember that unbelievable 2019 Ajax team? That's them. The structure is flat, the shape of the team just emerges from player chemistry, and the communication is all horizontal, player to player. Staying in the same collective, relational corner of the map, we find the pressing swarm. Think Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool and his gegenpressing. It's built on pure instinct and that player-to-player communication. The second the ball is lost, the swarm is immediate, triggered by the players themselves.
Okay, heading north now, where the coach's influence starts to grow again, we have the loose hierarchy. This is Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid for sure. The coach provides a kind of loose framework, sets the general strategy, but inside that system, individual freedom and relationships between the start players is what makes the magic happen.
And finally, our last stop, the northwest, home to the fluid structure. Think about Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel. It's this brilliant combination of 2 worlds. A really clear, highly structured defensive shape that the coach has designed, mixed with totally fluid, creative attacking play driven by the players.
So we've seen all these labels, but why is finding your direction on this compass so incredibly important? Well, Because it's not just a label. Your identity governs exactly how your team functions when it really matters, under extreme pressure. Let me show you a really concrete example. This chart shows something called communication cognitive load. It's basically the mental weight of all the instructions a player has to carry in their head. A team like Bayern Munich scores at the absolute maximum. Their players are loaded with instructions. And you compare that to a team like Heidenheim, whose playbook is intentionally super minimal. And check this out. This brilliantly shows the power of adaptation. Liverpool, as a collective and relational team, ranks second in all of Europe for their adaptation rate. What that means is their peer-to-peer structure allows them to reorganize and recover from a shock, like conceding a goal, faster than almost anyone else. It's incredible. So you see, the big point here is that a team's identity isn't just some vague philosophy. It has a direct, measurable impact on everything, from the mental load on your players, to how fast they adapt, to how well those set-piece routines you practice all week actually work on game day.
Now, this isn't just a tool for pros and elite analysts. The really amazing thing about this whole framework is that you can start to figure out your own team's true identity just by making a few simple observations.
Yeah, it really just comes down to asking 3 key questions. First, observe the chaos. 25 minutes into the game, where are your players actually standing? Second, count the instructions. Are you totally overloading them with tactical codes? And third, and this is a big one, after you concede a goal, listen. Who speaks first? The answers to these will start to show you your team's true north. And this, right here, is the single most important takeaway from all of this. Success isn't about being in the best part of the compass. There is no best direction. It's all about aligning your coaching, your communication, and your training to your team's actual identity. Any misalignment, that's what costs you games. Which leaves us with one final thought. You have to ask yourself, is your team's identity a compass guiding you through the storm? Or is it a cage, trapping your team and stopping them from ever performing when the pressure is really on?